1. Here we go.
Hey, what's going on? John W. Davis and Pavy here. You're listening to the Spark Report. What's going on, Pav? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. So the LA Sparks are 12-4 right now, still locking down the third spot in the WNBA. 6 games left. How are you feeling about 12-4?
I mean, 12-4 games left. I mean, 12-4 is good. I mean, with that, I think they're still third right now.
They're third.
Yes, yeah, I mean,
third.
Currently the season, solid third. Currently the season ended today. They don't get the double bye, but they they do get a bye. I think third is fine. I mean,
they get the double bye, and the other good thing about it is they do the reseeding in the second round, and so they would get the lower seed. So if the Wings happen to win, then they would get the Wings.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out for you in the second round. But what I wanted to talk about is a couple things. Obviously, NECA was out. I want to talk about the absence of NECA, but I want to start with talking about who the Sparks have lost to.
Okay.
Yes, they're 12-4, but I think they've only beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and they haven't really beat anybody yet ahead of them in the standings. They've barely beat teams that have above 500 records.
This is true.
So if you look at the schedule, so the only teams that they beat that have an above 500 record is they beat the Mercury twice and they beat the Lynx once. That's it. And so, yes, they're winning the games they're supposed to win, and that's how you get to a 12-4 record. But who did you lose to? Now, I will say that all the times they've lost have been road games. I don't know what that means in the Wubble, but they are 7-0. And when they play the Storms, the Aces, and the Sky again this season, there will be home games. What does that mean? I don't know, but it means something.
I definitely think it's important to get some of those victories. I think just for morale, you don't want to happen to play somebody in the playoffs and in a whole series and you haven't beat them the whole year.
I think they have to win 2 out of those 3 games. They're going to play the Sky again, they're going to play the Storm again, and they're going to play the Aces again. They got to win 2 out of 3 of those.
That's fair. I don't.
If they don't win 2 out of 3 of those, if for some reason, let's say they just beat, the Aces is the number 1 game they have to beat. They have to beat the Aces because I still contend you want to be on the other side of the bracket on the Storm.
Don't sleep on the Sky though. The Sky not just the Sky aren't far behind them.
Right, but they wouldn't have to play the Sky in a series. The way the playoffs are working out, they'll either have to play, because if they played the Sky somehow, let's say somehow they played the Sky in the second round. I don't know how that would work out, but let's say they do. Let's say the Sky are the lowest seed left. And that's a one-off game. I mean, you don't want to play that, but
yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. You just got to win. But if you're talking about a series, you're looking at a series against the Aces or the Storm right now. And you don't want to play the Storm in the semifinals, or you're going to be looking at a series like they had last year against the Sun.
Yeah.
If they don't change what they're doing.
I agree.
Because they've won games, but are they really winning, or are they just not losing?
A lot of these games, it's just, for instance, the Atlanta game, the first Atlanta game that they played. Well, really both Atlanta games, but specifically the first Atlanta game. I'm watching the game and I'm like, both teams played terrible. Like, it's not like literally both teams.
I think the Dream played well for what they are.
They was throwing the ball all over the place. Both teams.
The Dream played well for what they are.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, no. Like, both teams played. To me, in the fourth quarter, it was like a battle of attrition. Like, who was just gonna not make the most mistakes? Was gonna win the game?
It is important to win battles of attrition.
Of course, it is
also important to take care of business so you're not in a battle of attrition. You should not be in 2 battles of attrition against the Dream.
Of course,
you should not be in a battle of attrition against the Wings.
Now,
they haven't had a totally convincing win in about 2 weeks. Loss, I will say they got mollywopped.
Yes, but the reason why I don't really put too much stock in the last loss because it was a back-to-back. I think you have to lose eventually. NECA didn't play. I just think
Pavy, they were winning 33-22.
I mean, yeah, but that was like the
They
first
were
quarter.
winning those in the second quarter. It was almost halfway through the second quarter. They were winning after 15 minutes of this game.
They just ran out of gas. I think they just
After
got tired. Honestly,
40% of this game, they were up by 11.
I think they just got tired. Honestly,
And then you know what happened at the end? 74-45.
And
that
also,
was the end of the game.
And also, like I said, in the
all
first
props
game,
to the Lynx because they ran them out the gym.
And also, like I said in the first game, yeah, the Sparks won, but they left a lot of threes open. They just missed them in the first game.
They did.
Today, they happened to just make last night they happened to just make a lot of those threes that they missed in the first game. Yes, I didn't even know Crystal Dangerfield could shoot.
Yeah,
she was out there. I'm like, when did you start shooting the ball?
She's always been able to shoot, man.
She was driving last game.
They were sleeping on her because she's small.
Well, yeah. So I mean, like, I'm not really shocked that happened again. I don't put too much stock into that. Like I said, you have to lose eventually. You're not gonna like win out. And also, it was a back-to-back. This was a game that was supposed to be played last week. It got moved. It was a back-to-back.
If they would have played it last week, it would have been different. And then, I mean, starting off the week, they probably would have won it.
One of your stars, had
back. Still would have been there.
She would have been there. She had back issues, so I don't really put too much stock into that. Now, some of those other games against those other teams, the Wings, the Dream,
it's fine. You have to lose eventually. It's fine, but you don't have to lose by 18.
I mean, you don't, but I honestly, I think once
you're up by 11,
yes,
I mean that's the 30-point difference, Babby.
Yes, but I think once they fell down,
in 25 minutes.
Yes, but I think once they fell down about 10, I think in like the fourth quarter, I think just looking at we may as well just pack it in at this point. I think they packed that game in midway through the fourth quarter. I think they were just like, whatever, we lost this one.
I think it shows how important Nneka Ogwumike is to this team.
Of course,
yes, she's not taking a lot of shots, but Nneka. Yes, Candace Parker is the defensive player of the year. She is the defensive Parker of the year this year. She's rebounding, she's blocking, she's encouraged. She has enthusiasm. All of that. She has to keep going. Brittany Sykes wants to put herself in the DPOY conversation.
It's not gonna happen.
And sure, Brittany Sykes, keep talking. Work your way on the second team defense. Second team defense is realistic for her. Okay. And I say that with all love.
To be fair,
I say that with all love.
Real quick, to be fair, her defensive rating is 99. Now, 99 isn't really incredible, but her defensive rating is 99. Candace's has dropped a little bit, I think, from last time. I think it's dropped like a point.
But we already got the narrative that Candace Parker is going to win an award. And she's not going to win MVP, so it's DPOY.
She got to keep going though, because
she does have to keep going. Next game, she has to keep going. But my whole point is that traditionally, over the span of their careers, Nneka Ogwumike is the better defender. Nneka Ogwumike is the more efficient defender. Nneka Ogwumike is the heart of that defense. Yes, she's not running around blocking people because that's not the spot that Coach Latricia Trammell has her in. Nneka is keeping people out the paint.
She's a great team defender.
What happened? Right. She plays team defense. She doesn't have to worry about an individual matchup. That's not her focus. And Chelsea Gray said it changed when the Lynx started hunting the paint. I mean, who is going to stop somebody from getting in the paint? If anybody on the team is going to stop somebody from getting in the paint,
real quick, Nneka. But real quick, to be fair, also what I said about the Sparks all year, they struggle with quickness. If you're a guard and you quick, there's a lot of ways to get in the paint. No matter who out there, if you're a guard and you quick on the Sparks.
True.
For whatever reason, I don't know why, but for whatever reason. But yes.
But if the Lynx were not talking, then Nneka could have sent Crystal Dangerfield back to UConn like she did Katie Lou on the screen. So there's little things like that can change a game. And so that's why I'm saying they have to have her.
Of course.
They will go 3-3 out of these next 6 games if Nneka doesn't play.
I mean, they might go worse than 3-3.
I'm being nice.
He might go worse than 3-3.
They might go 2-4.
No. Like of course, obviously, Candace does what she does, and I think that this year, Candace has, been the best player so far on the team. But I mean, Nneka was great last year. I thought Nneka was the best player on the team last year. Like Nneka is still MVP caliber player, MVP level player, defensive player of the year, caliber player. She may not win an award, but caliber player. So I mean, yeah, of course,
60%. But that's what I'm saying. NECA is a team defender, like you said. So her stats are not going to stand out. Like, yes, NECA can get to close to 10 rebounds if she's in the right position on the court, but NECA is not going to have those big blocks that Candace Parker has had. NECA is not going to have the additional stats that don't really have anything to do with defense that make you look overall like a defensive player of the year. Like Natasha Howard looked good last year, not only because of her defense and her defensive rating, but because she had plenty of 20 and 10 games with 3 or 4 assists.
To be fair,
because she was able to do everything for them last year.
To be fair, though, so I haven't actually looked this up. Her rating is still pretty good, and
it is.
For the minutes that she's playing, her stats
are right. She's like going. Natasha Howard's going to make first team all defense.
Yeah. Like her stats just look weird because she wasn't playing that many minutes to like start off the season. So it's like they just look weird. But it's like if you get me like 6 and 6 in 18 minutes, if you per 36, that's actually pretty good.
It's great.
It's pretty good.
It's great. And when you play next to Breanna Stewart, that makes it better. Or then when sometimes you play next to Mercedes Russell or Ezzy.
Like, wow, like a lot, by the way.
There's like so many McAvoy. Yeah, there's so many options for Natasha Howard. So
and I want to say with NECA, I think even more than defense, I think offensively is where they miss her the most. Like you said, she shoots 60%. And now, obviously, within the last week or so, Chelsea, I don't know what got into Chelsea, but Chelsea didn't. I don't know where this came from. I don't know what got into her, but it's like ever since she did the what's she doing, the charity donation, right?
Yes.
And for like every 3 she makes,
the assist. Every assist. Yeah.
Whatever. Since then, since they announced that, I don't know what got into her, but she done been wildly more aggressive than what she was for the duration of the season up until now.
This is what I talked about before when I said like the Sparks have a big 3 and it could be a third one season. You know, one person the first third, another person the second third, another person the next third. And it's kind of how it's been right now. It's kind of been Candace Parker for about half the season. Now recently it's been Chelsea Gray and she's moved herself up to the leading scorer on the team. And then let's see who steps up and maintains for the last 6 games.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to, like, to me, if the Sparks don't win 5 out of the 6 games, then they're in trouble going into the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to win 5 out of the 6 games.
Then it's going to be, it is what it is.
I mean, I think, again, like all year, like, even though, like you said, they've been winning games, like, sure, they went on this win streak, but they still had
because this is the thing. These are 6 games. Okay, so Dallas Wings, they cannot lose to the Dallas Wings, right?
They shouldn't lose to Dallas, no.
They cannot lose to the Liberty, right?
No, not at all.
They cannot lose to the Mystics at their current state.
No, they shouldn't lose to the Mystics.
And then that's what I'm saying. So if all of those are must wins and should wins, then that's why I said you have to win 2 out of the 3, the Storm, the Sky, and the Aces. Therefore, 5 out of 6. That's my 5 out of 6 theory.
I feel you, but I don't think that they win 5 out of 6. I think they may go.
Then they're going to have some issues.
I think they may go 4-2. I think they may go.
If they go 4-2, then they will either have the 3rd or the 4th seed. And if somehow they end up in 4 and the Storm stay in 1st and they have to face them in the semifinals, it's done. They will not be ready to beat the Storm in the semifinals at this current state.
But again, like I think that we've seen flaws with I think guard.
I agree. You're probably right. I'm just saying what they need to do. I'm not saying they will win 5 out of 6. I'm saying they need to win 5 out of 6.
Fair.
Because they cannot have more than 5 losses and have any shot at a top 2. Because remember we said, if you have 6, you're out.
Yeah.
Even right now with 5, it's going to be tough. Because even if they beat the Aces and the Storm, all of them would have the same amount of losses. And I don't think they would have the tiebreaker over both of those teams. They may not even have the tiebreaker over either one of them. So this top 2 thing, like if they win out, they'll get top 2.
I don't think they're going to win out.
They're not going to win out.
I don't think that Vegas is going to fall off a cliff either. So that's
no. No, I mean, shout out to Vegas though, because Vegas has just concentrated and focused on what they're good at, and they played simple basketball for what is simple for them. And that's another thing I want to talk about, because Angel McCoughtry is doing the things that she does. Asia Wilson is doing the things that she does. They got Carolyn Swords playing, Jackie Young, like everybody, Hamby, everybody in their team is playing simple basketball. And that's what I want to talk to you about and that's what I asked Candace Parker about. I said, I basically asked her, do you think the difference in this game was that you didn't play simple, that you weren't doing the simple, right? She said, yeah. But I asked her, do you think the difference was, not doing the simple things of, protecting the paint, like keeping people out the paint, boxing out, and rebounding? And her answer was, yeah. But that's my question. Is it boring to play simple basketball? Is it tough to just play simple basketball and not do anything too extra and, not try to have a too flashy of a pass and not try to go for the block instead of play team defense? Is that too simple? Is that just boring? Like, is that the issue?
I mean,
that they just like too talented and just want to play too free?
I mean, I just think that's just how they play. Like Chelsea, she just puts flair on her passes. Sometimes she makes shots a little bit more difficult than what they have to be. Like, that's just the way she plays basketball. But that's also what makes her who she is, and that makes her, all NBA caliber guard, because she's so unorthodox. You don't know what she's gonna do. Candace, the fact that she can do it all makes her Candace Parker. Now, yes, I do think you have to reel it back in sometimes. For instance, I even think about it all the time. Like, I know it's not an NBA show, but when Steph threw the behind the back pass in Game 7 of the Finals and he goes out of bounds, like, I feel you, but like, no, this is not that time for that. And, I think that they learn, down the stretch, I think they try to keep it simple, but it's about getting down the stretch. Like, can we not, make some of these passes or have some of these turnovers so to the point that we don't even get in clutch time, that we up 10 by that time and we sitting on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's about time and situation.
That's what NECA is great at, is playing efficiently. And I think efficiency sometimes is just being simple or simplistically.
I agree.
And so that's why I said in the beginning of the season, NECA could shoot 60% because she's not really taking the wrong shots. And that's why I said if Candace Parker was to play, the most simple version of basketball she could play, she could shoot 55%. It's not going to happen now, but she could. I mean, that's why
Candace shooting first. Candace is shooting.
That's why Christine. Why you looked that up? That's why Christina Nigwe has been fairly effective recently, because
can we have a whole subject about Christina Nigwe?
Sure, we can talk about it.
She can play on my team any day. Christina Nigwe can play. She don't do nothing but hustle and rebound, and I like it.
That's why I said she can shoot 60% too.
She's actually shooting 66% from the field.
Dude, I promise, if the Sparks play simple basketball, defense forward basketball, they will win 5 out of these 6 last games.
I don't know if they're going to win 5 out of 6 last games.
If they play simple basketball and focus on defense first, and then everything else after that, they will win 5 out of 6. They will win 5 out of 6 of these games.
I just think they have some defensive errors that we haven't seen them clean up all season that will come to shine in some of these games against some of the better teams.
But think about it like this. The average team is not going to shoot you out the gym for the whole game. Especially if you keep them out the paint. So if they're going to keep every team they're playing for the rest of the season out the paint,
when have they done that?
Eventually they're going
When have they done that? Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, when have they done that?
I don't know.
When have they done that against quality guards this entire season?
I don't know, but that's what they should do.
I'm
just talking about what they should do.
Okay.
And what they know they're supposed to do. Because I guarantee you that's what the coach is telling you. That's what the assistant coach, LaTrisha Trammell, who has coordinated the defense, is telling you. I guarantee you that's what Derek Fisher is telling players when he's having individual conversations with them and individual encouragement. I guarantee you that's what Candace Parker is saying. I guarantee you that's what Simone Augustus is saying. Even NECA. I guarantee you they're preaching the fundamentals.
Yeah, but again, this is the issue.
But saying and doing are two different things.
Yeah, but also see, this is the issue. Even when Fish said we might not practice the rest of the season, I think that defense is something that it's. I think they have again good individual defenders, but as a team, they don't always lock in. We haven't even really seen them play for the I mean, a couple times, but for the most part, I haven't even really seen them play 30 minutes of great defense.
No, you haven't.
I've seen it maybe once or twice, maybe all season, but on a consistent basis, I haven't seen it. And I think that the fact that they don't get much playing time.
I think that Fever game was the last time.
Yeah. Fever game, they were great.
They won that by 14. But yeah, no, I want to give you props for getting that answer out of Derek Fisher, because that is very important, because from now on, it is game, day off for 6 straight games until the end of the season, September 12th. So the fact that they're not practicing and all you can do is watch film and then maybe every once in a while have a shoot around. So
and how much film can you really watch?
I don't know. Everything is going to be theoretical now. And I think the practice is going to be on the court.
I think that honestly, even when we talked to Fish early in the season, they said, well, what we're going to do is focus on ourselves. I think that's what they have to do. Really focus on themselves, focus on what they want to do, focus on their defense, focus on their offense, and really not worry about trying to scout other teams. Because I don't think you really have time for that. Like you don't.
And 30 to 35 minutes of the proper defense is going to win you most games, especially at the end of the season. And again, the key games that they have to win against these top teams, or not have to win, but these key games where they're going up against teams that are fighting for position in that top of the standings, they're all home games. I don't know what that means, but they are 7-0 at home during this season. They have not lost at home during this season. The last time they lost a home game was that Long Beach crap, and that's not a home game. The last time they lost a real home game was like the first or second game of the season at Staples.
Yeah,
they haven't lost a home game in like 20-some games.
It's definitely been a while.
It's been more than a year.
Yeah,
since they lost a home game, like an actual home game where you're staying and the court that you're used to playing on.
It's been a while for sure.
So I don't know what that is, but let's get back to Christina Nigwe. So you said you want Christina Nigwe on your team any day.
Play on my team any day.
Can Christina Nigwe play on the 2021 Sparks?
I think so. I mean, again, I don't. Well, you know what? I don't know if she's gonna be on because again, Marie.
Because you want Taya Cooper, right?
Maria has to come back. You want Taya.
Who would you rather have, Taya Cooper or Christina Nigwe?
Taya, even for marketing reasons. Okay. Taya. We are the Sparks. So Taya. Taya, obviously, Chrissy is gonna come back. Obviously, Maria is gonna come back. So probably she's not gonna be on the team. But I think that
Janae.
Yeah.
That's 3 right there.
But I think that what Christine has done, I mean, obviously, no matter, you always playing for somebody. Like, even if you on the court, every time you get out there, somebody is looking. I think that Christine has done enough this season to show that she belongs in the league. She also has a good jumper that I feel like she can work on and develop. Yes. And she's a force in the paint. Like every time she's on the court, even if she doesn't get the offensive rebound, she's physical. She's trying to move her way there. Like she doesn't just concede the board ever.
In practice, her range is out to the 3-point. So
it probably is. Her shot looks good.
Right. She can play.
She can
that's not a question. And
she can play on my team any day.
That's what we talked about earlier is just because you're not going to be on the Sparks next year doesn't mean you're not going to show and prove that you should be on somebody's team next year. That's what Christina Nigwe has done. And I think it's also important for her to have a good showing against her former team in Dallas. Okay, she didn't get to play against her other former team, the Connecticut Sun, but she needs to have a good showing against them because that's the type of team that she could easily, the way things work out, she could be starting on that team right now.
How old is she? She's 23 years old. She will eventually end up sticking somewhere. She's young. She's still developing.
If the Sparks can figure this out, there's a possibility they could keep Cooper and Nigwe and still have the other people they want. because there are some people that have some flexibility in not bringing back some people.
I mean, I got some ideas of some people who might not be here next year.
I'll just say it. There's a possibility they won't bring back Simone Augustus and Raquana Williams.
TRP as well.
Well, TRP is under contract.
Okay.
But they technically wouldn't have to bring TRP back. But they have TRP signed to a pretty good deal. I think it's about $90,000. So I mean, that's
but what Brittany Sykes has done this season is like kind of
it's better.
Kind of
it's better.
Kind of eliminates the need.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because how did they win that game against the Dream?
Oh, that's fair. They put them
both on the court at the same time.
Which one?
The previous one, the first one.
How they won that game was the fact that the Dream was throwing the ball all type of out of bounds. Okay, how they won the game. But yes, they also did put two of them.
Chelsea Gray, Sykes, TRP, NECA, and Candace. I still think that there's room for those two on the court together at the wing position. Now, it's tough when you play Gray, Weiss, Sykes, TRP, and Parker. That's tough. Okay? Because they had TRP on Nafisa Collier for a little bit, but it was when Nafisa Collier was like playing like 3-4. Like if Nafisa's playing the 3, then okay. But when she's going in and out and stuff like that, like Nafisa is too big inside.
Yeah.
She's too skilled
TRP
inside.
Is more of a perimeter defender.
Right. So I personally would want to keep TRP because I don't think you can ever have too much defense.
That's fair.
Because they have so many talented offensive players. Now, what they need TRP to do is to drive and kick, not necessarily drive and pull up in mid-range.
Drive and kick and work on like corner threes and wing threes.
Right.
Because she's basically
she's got to find a spot on the court where she can be an average or plus 3-point shooter. And even if that means you just camp, she's got to do something.
My thing for wings, if like you're a good defensive wing, is just shoot about 38% from 3 from the corner. Mm-hmm. No way, you ain't got to be from the top of the key, from the wing, just from the corner. If I throw you ball in the corner, be about 38% for the corner.
That might be a little high for her, but I think last year she was about 36.
From the corner, though, like that's just like I'm talking about one spot on the court. Nowhere else. Like you could shoot 30% from 3, but just in the corner.
The corner this year, the corner is pretty tough because of the way they have the court designed. There's like this black outline right near the edge of the court. And so that's making it a little tough for them to stick in the corner and really get those shots up. Like Sydney has been successful there, but not many other players have been successful from the corner. Every once in a while, Candace Parker will go over there and camp and kind of, I don't want to say take an offensive possession off, but kind of get out of the flow of things. But it's pretty hard to shoot from there. Candace has been successful shooting from the corner as well. But her and Weiss are like the only ones that really have been getting corner threes down, in my opinion.
I was trying to find a corner 3-point stats, but I can't. Basketball Reference doesn't have it.
That's okay. I'll let you look for it. But again, I just think they have to be a defense forward team. And the other thing, I think Derek Fisher has to, I see what he did when he took TRP out early in the game and he went straight to Simone. Like, it's okay to pull people out after 2 or 3 minutes. If it's not working, it's not working. You don't have to stick with people that long.
The game is also only 40 minutes, so that's
right. The game is only 40 minutes. And at this point, everybody can use a break anyway.
And also,
as long as you're not really, really hurting anybody's feelings, which you shouldn't be by this point, it's okay.
Can we also talk about the continued development of Taya Cooper? Because I feel like every single game she gets more comfortable and she shows, I guess, just her potential as a basketball player. Like now she's shooting the ball, she's driving the ball, she's actually making plays. Like earlier in the season, she was like running an offense, but she wasn't making plays ever. She was dribbling the ball to the court, passing it to somebody, and setting offense. Now I think she's actually making plays for people and also herself. And I also think that even sometimes, I think it was the game before last, I think, when she like shot like a mid-range jumper and missed. Mm-hmm. She was like, but it was just like her feeling empowered enough to be able to do that. So I think that the vets on the team are just empowering her to go out there, be herself, and play hard. And I think that she's shown continued improvement every single game.
I think it depends on who she's playing with, though. I think when she's playing with Raquana Williams, she needs to defer to Raquana to score. I think when she's playing with Chelsea Gray, sure, shoot those open shots, drive to the hole. But I don't want her to be shooting more shots than Raquana, because that is Raquana's sole job on the court when she's on offense, is to shoot the ball. And then that gets her going defensively. So I think she needs to defer a little bit more to Raquana. Like, it's great that you have the confidence that you're going to, running back the ball in there and shoot the layups and stuff like that. But if you're not getting fouled, it's not working for me.
Well, no, because for me, if it's threes, only shoot them when you open. Like, I don't think she's been coming down pulling up for three. But if she's getting to the rim, like, I have no issue with that. You're getting to the rim. You're getting to the rim, and you're putting pressure on the defense.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get fouled.
Yeah, but to me, it's been like she's kind of good at finishing at the rim. Like, she's actually good at it. She has a scoop layup that for some reason she like drives, gets in there. She has a scoop layup, and like it works.
But she misses a fair amount of them too. It's not like she's making 3 out of 4 layups.
She's not automatic. She's probably about like 50% on layups.
Right.
At the rim.
That's not great.
It's not great, but it's not terrible.
No, because the thing about it is Candace Parker, like, if she's going to get a layup, she gets fouled 4 out of 5 times. If she doesn't make it, she's getting fouled 4 out of 5 times. So that's what I'm saying. You got to get that contact. If you're going to go in there, you're going to go in there with those trees, you got to get that contact. And Taya Cooper can take the contact, clearly. She took a charge on Alyssa Thomas. Shout out to her for doing that. That's crazy.
I just appreciate the fact
that's great. That's loco.
I'm
not taking no charge on Alyssa Thomas, bro.
I just appreciate the fact that she's being aggressive. And I feel like just, from watching game 1 to now, I can see a clear progression. And for one, kudos to her teammates for making her feel comfortable, and also kudos to her for developing her game after game. I just think that her like recently, probably her and Christine I've probably been the most impressed with recently.
Well, I mean, they've really been the only 2 off the bench that are playing. You already, whatever your opinion of Simone Augustus is, that is your opinion of Simone Augustus. Whatever your opinion of TRP is your opinion of TRP for the most part. So those are the only 2 that can really impress you off the bench, honestly. And then we know what Raquana is. Yeah, fair. I mean, she's the microwave. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. If it was me in the middle of those games, in those second and third quarters, when it's not like the game is decided, won or lost, even if you're up by 11, clearly the game is not decided. At those points, I'm figuring out how to get Gulich and Gray some playing time, because my players are exhausted. Candace Parker was tired. There was a point in the game where Candace Parker couldn't even bend down and pick up a ball. She chased it from the top of the key all the way out of bounds and couldn't even catch up with it.
She was tired.
She was tired.
That's also why I didn't put too much stock into yesterday's game.
And I agree with that. It was only because it was the team they lost to.
Tired.
It was the Lynx.
Tired, bro.
I understand.
Back to back, we don't have
team. It was the team, and the fact that you was up by 11, and then you just decided that you didn't want to keep playing the simple basketball way that got you to the 11-point lead. You was just like, all right, cool. Yeah, we up by 11.
Tired again. Tired. What does Fix say that text said? Fatigue will make cowards of us all. Tired.
That's
coming
true.
off of, and maybe
then if that's the case, you want to be like we talked about last year, getting Chelsea Gray in-game rest. The other good thing for the Sparks is that when they get those big televised games, they do get extra rest. So let's see if they have any of those big games coming up.
I will say this:
I don't see any. I don't see any ESPN or ABC games, so they're not even going to be getting the extra 2-minute timeouts for rest. So
I will say this:
is going to be on them.
I don't think Chelsea is the one that needs rest. Chelsea, like I said, has looked the best she's looked all season over the past 3 games. But Candace, I think Candace does need somehow a little bit more rest, or just a little bit less responsibility in game than what she's had.
She looked great in the beginning. When Candace is bringing the ball up the court, they're not stopping in the middle, and she's taking it all the way to the rim and getting layups or getting fouled. She looks great doing that. But that's why I'm saying the simplicity of the game, because that works in the first quarter. Like a couple games ago, she had 11 points in the first quarter, and then it was like it.
But you know what that
she
takes?
Had 6 in the first quarter, and then that was it. What did
you know why? Defense. She's getting that because they're defending and teams are missing shots. They're not picking the ball out the basket every time and inbounding it. They playing defense. They missing shots and they get them down.
But the fans are going to wonder, why isn't Candace Parker doing that in the third and the fourth quarter if she was able to do it in the first quarter?
Because they defense ain't the same. So now you come down. So now
the defenses are adjusting, is what you're saying,
huh?
The defenses are adjusting, is what
not the Sparks defense. Like you said, they came out, they were up. So again, these teams are missing shots. So now you're getting rebounds. So now you instantly in transition. Instead of the fact now you in the second half, your defense falls off a little bit. You're tired now because you weren't defending the same way. Now you got to take the ball out the basket every time, and inbound the ball. Now you playing against 5 people with their eyes looking at you. It's a lot more difficult that way, as opposed to she's 6'4", 6'5", she running in transition. She got, Sykes in the corner. She got Sydney in the corner. Chelsea may be running with her. She got her pickings then, but when you got 5 people looking at you, it's a little bit harder to score. And again, I think a lot of that is just fatigue. I think they just sometimes. I think especially yesterday. That's why I didn't, like I said, I didn't put too much stock into it. I didn't want to talk too much about that game because I literally just think back end of a back-to-back, they were just tired. They came out, looked great, and after a while, they just didn't look great no more. They were just tired.
You know who I feel like has been quiet for the last several weeks in August?
Who?
Simone Augustus.
I agree.
Like, I've been watching her on the court, and she's still getting them buckets and knocking down the jumpers for the most part, but it's just been quiet. So I'm not sure if that's, a concerted effort to, like, never tax her and never play her too much or never ask too much of her. But there's going to come a time when, again, there's going to come a game when Raquana is the leading scorer again. There's going to come a game when Simone Augustus takes over for a quarter or two. And there's definitely going to be games when Chelsea Gray is the best one, NECA is the best one, and Candace Parker is the best one. All 5 of those players, and even Brittany Sykes, has led the team in scoring several times. So that's 6 players that are all going to have their time at certain points for the rest of this season, these 6 games and however long the playoffs go, where one of those players kind of takes over. But we haven't seen it from some of them lately.
Because I think defensively, I think they letting teams put up 80 points that probably shouldn't score 80 points. So no. I haven't, I don't have the stats with me right now.
That's why I'm saying if you can get your perimeter defense back to Sykes and TRP for a while, that will stifle somebody, especially at the end of the game when everybody is tired. Fair. When everybody is tired, who is less tired? Brittany Sykes. Who's going to keep competing physically? TRP. So that's 2 people who you pretty much want on the court, unless you're going to go with Taya Cooper. Again, that's somebody who's going to physically compete. You got to work those type of players in. I don't think you can ever have all 3 of them on the court at the same time.
Yeah, that wouldn't make
sense.
Not
at the end of the game, because then what are you doing with Chelsea Gray? You're going to make Chelsea Gray play the 4?
Yeah.
Then there's no NECA or Candace. So, it depends on the matchup, but I think those are for the 2 spots that you need because you always want to close with Chelsea Gray, NECA Ogwumike, and Candace Parker. For the other 2 spots you need, I think personally the contenders to close right now are you're definitely closing with Sykes. And then to me, it's between Cooper and TRP, who you're closing with, depending on the game.
I don't hate it. I would probably give TRP the edge just because I prefer the experience. But in late game situations, we've seen Taya play, and Taya,
right.
Even got the charge.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It depends on the game.
So yeah,
she did it against Dallas, and if they need to do it again on Wednesday, she can do it. TRP did it against the Dream already. So, I mean, I think they both have proven. I also would love to see if there's a way to close out a game with Simone Augustus on the court, like truly close it out defensively. I don't know.
I think
because she knows what to do on defense.
I think that with Simone, I think that if you're in the playoff series and you know it's 45 seconds left, then maybe you throw Simone in because again, one is another voice on the court. She's been in that situation a countless number of times. It's not like she's going to be phased or anything by what's going on. And again, you got maybe NECA, Candace between those three. That's like 30 years of experience on the court. So I think that maybe
it's almost 30 between two of them.
So I think
because 13 years and 15 years.
So it's like 40 years of experience on the court. 40 years of WNBA basketball experience on the court. So I think that if you win the playoffs and you win a game 4, you may not trust the Sykes, you may not trust the TRP, trust the people who haven't been there like that before.
Oh, I'm trusting the Sykes too. I'm just saying that Simone could figure her way out on the court too. I'm just saying
you may not. I'm just saying you depending on what happened throughout the course of the game, you may not trust one of those. And Simone is like, you know what? I trust you to be in there. Then also, if we go on defense or offense, I don't have to make a substitution. I also trust Simone on offense.
That's true.
I mean, to me, I think find out. I just look. She's shooting 53% from the field. She's shooting like 55% from 3. Now, granted, she's only taking like 1 3 a game. She probably hasn't taken that many threes. She takes a lot of long twos.
I believe she's leading the league at 3-point percentage if she still has enough shots, though.
Again, so she's shooting 55% from 3. She's shooting 53% from the field. She's not shooting any shots that she really should shoot.
That's why I'm saying they're going to need a quarter or two where Simone has 10 in the quarter, and you're like, oh yeah, that's money, Mon. Like they're going to need that.
It'll happen
because they have these lulls, and that's what Chelsea Gray talked about. They have these lulls, especially defensively, which turns into offense, like you said, because if they're not getting the rebounds, Candace Parker can't push. In the beginning of the game, they get the rebounds. Candace Parker can push. If they're not getting the rebounds, you're not getting the stops to get defensive rebounds, she can't push. No one can push. I mean, they could try, but
sometimes in the half court,
they're not going to do it.
Sometimes in the half court, they become too ISO based. That works when Chelsea is on. But when she's off, that doesn't really work the same.
And that works if Chelsea is going to be a post-based ISO player.
That too.
Or mid-range ISO-based player.
Too.
But if it's the middle outside range, no.
That too.
Want that right now. I don't want that right now.
And so I feel like when the Sparks are in transition, they're great. I think Candace Parker is arguably one of the best transition players in WNBA history. Personally. Chelsea is great in transition. Like Chelsea's even they have 2 players who can make
opens up her stride more and she gets going.
And they have
walking up the court, she gets going.
That and they have 2 players that can make full court passes. Literally, like Chelsea can get the ball and be at the charge circle, make a full court pass on target to the other charge circle. Candace can do the same thing, one-handed off a rebound. She can grab the ball, turn around, one-handed rebound, flick it down court. So I think in transition, they're great. But again, they have to continue playing defense. But in the half court, and granted, this may come because of the fact they don't have much practice time, so you really don't get a chance to work on offensive sets. Will that come back to bite you? I don't know. It could. It may not, because at the same time, I don't think anybody gets that much time to work on half-court offensive sets.
Yeah,
but
this
again,
is going to be on them. Honestly,
yes, but
these last 6 games, this is going to be on them. Like, they're going to win games because they win, because the Sparks are the best version of the Sparks. It doesn't matter who they play these next 6 games. It doesn't matter, honestly, because they're not practicing. The other team is not practicing. They're literally just playing basketball. Right?
It matters who they play, but yes.
No, but they're playing basketball, though, because we've seen that the Storm can lose when they're tired. Everybody's going to be tired, okay?
This is true.
We've seen that the Aces can lose, and even the game where the Aces beat the Sparks is just because they outlasted them.
I mean,
it's not like the Aces shoot threes. It's not like they're going to make as many threes as the Lynx just made.
What happened in that game, if my memory serves me correctly, is like the pick and pop. But again, it's certain things all year that have like messed with the Sparks. Dribble penetration, pick and pop.
Right. And so maybe that's when You just say, you know what, we're gonna go NECA on Wilson instead of Candace Parker on Wilson.
Yeah, I don't really know why they was, because it was like what Sydney Weiss and Candace Parker kept getting put in the pick and roll.
But that was before he decided that he was going to take Sydney Weiss off the court at the end of the games. Remember, he let her have that one.
Yeah.
And then the next time it was Cooper. The next time it was TRP. He quit on that real quick.
But that was the game that she had 15 in the first half, and then
she was killing. She was killing offensively. So it was like, well, man, she's making every shot, but defensively, Jackie Young gave it to her. Will Sydney Weiss, a player who is as aware as she is, let Jackie Young give it to her again? Probably not. But will she even be on the court at the end of the game when that matters? Who knows? She hasn't finished out games lately, but she's still starting, and she's still necessary because she spaces the floor. And yes, she hasn't made her threes at the same above 50% rate the past couple games, but you can't expect somebody to shoot 50%.
46 now, which is still good.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's still great. Like 46% from 3 for a guard is still
That's
incredible.
Why they call it the 50-40-90 club. It's not a 50-50-90 club because 50-50-90 is ridiculous.
If you shooting 50-50-90, go to the Hall of Fame immediately. Immediately.
Okay, so I think it's about that time in the show where we look at the next 3 games this week. We give our predictions. So I will say that, okay, so because the schedule changed last week, they played the Sun, won, Dream won, and then the Lynx game was after that, and they lost. So they were technically 2-1. You said they were going to lose to the Sun, right? I said they were going to go 3-0. So
yeah, I think it was a loss.
So you got the record 2-1 right, kind of, but I mean technically they was 2-0 last week because this Monday game was this next week. But anyway, so we'll just call it a wash. We'll go back to the predictions. So they're going to play the Wings on Wednesday, the Storm on Friday, and the Sky on Sunday.
Hell of a schedule.
It is. I personally think the Sparks are going to be motivated tremendously against the Sky. Not only because they will have just played the Storm and most likely lost to the Storm, but also because the Sky are talking stuff about only Vandersloot being the point god.
By the way,
which I thought Candace Parker was the first one that said that in the WNBA anyway.
By the way,
what?
Courtney is rising up the MVP rankings.
She is. She has passed Candace Parker.
She's rising up the MVP rankings. She's rising up the MVP rankings. Quiet as kept. She just broke the WNBA record.
If the Sky don't lose another game this season, MVP. Steve Nash MVP.
She is rising up.
She is. She is. Courtney Vandersloot is an all WNBA first team player.
Obviously, it goes without saying.
Goes without saying. She was last year. She got MVP votes last year. She's going to get MVP votes again this year. But if her team is not better in the final standings than the Storm and the Aces, she's not going to be MVP. She's not going to be MVP from a 4 seed. You cannot be MVP from a 4 seed.
If she, no, I don't know about that. If they get to the third, no. If they get to the
from the 4 seed.
If they get to the 3rd or 4th seed, honestly, because
they need to be a top 2 seed.
No, listen, because again, she's done one thing which I don't think anybody else has done. She broke a WNBA record this season. That's also Diamond DeShields went down. She's out for the rest of the season. They also have
Stevens is gone.
She's gone. So they have some injuries. So there's technically more on her. She definitely does have a narrative and a case. No, I wouldn't say that. Because like 6 games in this season is like 20. So if she performs in all these 6 games, she go out there average a double-double throughout like the last 6 games. She got a case.
Courtney Vandersloot can be the MVP of the Eastern Conference. Because the Eastern Conference has 2 playoff teams. They have a 5 seed with the Sky and a 7 seed with the Sun.
Hey, look.
She's not going to be MVP.
Look, I don't think she will win it. Look, hold on. I don't think she will win it. But she can put a name.
Because the thing you're saying, everything you're saying that Vandersloot has done for the Sky, if you want to be real and keep it a buck, as y'all like to say, do y'all still say keep it a buck?
Yeah, we said that.
Okay. Keep it a buck. Asia Wilson has done all that for the Aces.
I 1000% agree.
All of that for the Aces. And the Aces
Asia
have a significantly better record. The Aces have 3 losses. The Sky have 6. It's done. She cannot beat Asia Wilson.
I wouldn't say she can't do it.
No.
If Asia come out here and let's say she's not as spectacular as she's been over the course of the
why would she do that? But why would she do that?
No, anything can happen.
Yes, anything can happen, but why? Now it's
Courtney out here breaking WNBA records. She had 18 assists in 40 minutes. Probably wasn't even 40. It's probably like 32.
Because she has the same coach 12 months out the year. She runs the same system 12 months out the year.
She probably does.
Her head coach coaches the Sky, and her assistant coach coaches her Russian team.
You mad at them for doing that?
No, I'm not. That is a great thing. And I will say Courtney Vandersloot is the best point guard in the WNBA. That's fine, but that doesn't mean you are the MVP of the league. She is the most valuable player on her team.
If I had it right now, I would look. If I had it right now,
for the best player.
Listen, if I had it right now and I had to do a ranking, she's third on my list. That does not mean she cannot move up.
She can move up to second, sure.
Okay, all right. She go out here and keep having 15 assist games, scoring 10 points, and they keep winning. A lot of people gonna vote for her. You're gonna be wildly mad. She gonna get a lot of votes.
Okay, but watch what Brittany Sykes do to her.
We'll see.
Watch what Brittany Sykes does to her.
I'll be interested to see it.
Because now they have the reincarnation of Elena Beard. TRP is not an Elena Beard defensively. She is not that athletic.
I'm not going to give Brittany Sykes that yet. I need to see more, but I'm not going to give Brittany Sykes.
If Brittany Sykes, here we go. This is my challenge, and if I get to talk to Brittany Sykes before the game, this is what I'll say. If Brittany Sykes wants to really be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation, she needs to take care of Courtney Vandersloot. Knock her out the MVP conversation. TKO. If Brittany Sykes TKOs Courtney Vandersloot, all of y'all can stop with this Courtney Vandersloot MVP stuff. And then Brittany Sykes can get herself on not only second team, but she can make first team all defense with Candace Parker. Candace Parker's still going to be DPOY. But
Courtney Vandersloot.
I have no problem with Courtney Vandersloot. I said she is the best point guard in the league. Did I not just say that? Run that back. I just said that. But I'm not going to sit here and let anybody tell me that she is more valuable than Breanna Stewart. We saw what the Storm were last year without her.
I mean, they were still really good.
Sue Bird is not.
They were a playoff team.
And so were the Sky.
Do you think they're a playoff team without Courtney?
The Sky got the same record as they had last year with Diamond.
With Diamond, no, but Diamond ain't been there half the season.
I'm saying they basically have the same record as they had last year when they had Diamond.
Yeah, so it's this year. So it's technically more impressive this year because Diamond ain't been Diamond.
Okay, but do the Storm have the same record?
They do not.
The Storm are world beaters.
They are.
Breanna Stewart is unstoppable.
She is. She's my MVP. I told you.
Breanna Stewart is the best basketball player in the WNBA, hands down.
I told you. My rankings so far are Breanna, Asia, and then Courtney. I'm just saying there are things Courtney can do to move up and make me reconsider my rankings. That's it.
The whole time I had her at 4. Okay, I had for the longest in my 4 conversation. I've had. And if that's the case, we got to put Nafisa Collier in there now too. Because she is anchoring the Lynx. And if the Lynx keep moving up, sure. But so I basically said it's the best player on every team. So I've always said it was Breanna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Candace Parker, Courtney Vandersloot. I've always had Courtney Vandersloot in the top 4. Okay. I'm not disrespecting her. I'm just saying that with what is going on in the West, with the way that Breanna Stewart and Asia Wilson are playing and the way they play against each other.
Okay.
Like, they're 1-2. Okay. And they are 1-2, like.
Courtney don't get a lot of votes. I'm just telling you right now. If she keep playing like this for the last 6 games, she going to get a lot of votes, bro. She going to get a lot of votes. I would not be shocked if she finished second. I wouldn't be shocked.
She better not finish second.
I guarantee. How many votes is it total for the WNBA MVP? Do you know? Have any idea? How many writers vote on it? Any estimate?
I'm not sure, but it's you get points.
Don't be shocked if she get 21st place points. Don't be shocked. Do not be shocked if she get 21st place point. I'm telling you, don't be shocked. But we can move along from that. So this week the Sparks have the Wings.
Talk to me after Brittany Sykes plays defense against her.
We'll see.
Talk to me after that.
We'll see. I will be very interested to watch. They have the Sparks and Wings is tomorrow. Sparks Storm is on Friday, and Sparks Sky is on Sunday.
Yeah, so I didn't even say my three. Go ahead. You say yours, I'll say mine. Go ahead.
I'm assuming that we both think they'll beat the Wings. So I think they'll beat the Wings. I think that they'll beat the Storm. And I think no, not beat the Storm. I think they'll beat the Wings. I think they'll lose to the Storm, and I think they will beat the Sky. I'm
in agreement with you. That is my only loss for the rest of the season is that Storm game.
No, I think they lose to Vegas too. But
no, they're gonna be Vegas. They have to beat Vegas.
Okay.
They have to beat Vegas. And honestly, no, they have to beat Vegas. Okay. If they lose to the Storm and Vegas, they might as well not play in the semifinals because they will be playing one of those two teams.
I wouldn't say all that.
They will have lost to both of those teams twice this season. And then you're going to have to play a 5-game series against them?
It's a series. You'll get a chance to hone in and, focus on one team. Hone in and focus on one team. Certain things may turn out a little bit different. You never know.
No, because there's a possibility that Sue Bird may still come back. So they still have Sue Bird just waiting in the cut. Does she need to start? Not necessarily. But Sue Bird, even as a backup, Sue Bird for 12 minutes is going to be better than anything they have coming off the bench at guard for 12 minutes.
This is true.
So I don't see it. I think what derails the teams for the rest of the season, honestly, is health. I think the healthiest team is going to win in the end. And so right now, the Sparks are down NECA. NECA comes back, then they'll be right back up there. But like these teams, the players on these teams, they're just dropping off. Like it seems like every other game, there is a major player hurt. And a lot of them have left the Wubble. And so I think it's going to come down to health.
A lot of it's ankle injuries too. Like a lot of people spraining ankles. If you sprain an ankle right now, you're
done.
Yeah, basically.
You're done. It's not like I know the Liberty haven't said anything about Sabrina coming back, but it's not like Sabrina's coming back with 2 weeks left. She still had to quarantine to get back in there.
You'll see.
She's not coming back. If you're not in there right now, you're probably not going to be playing in the WNBA for the rest of the season.
This is true.
I mean, I suppose there's still a chance that Brittany Griner could still make it back for the playoffs. She's the only one that there is a chance. And I haven't heard any updates on that. And she left for personal reasons, and we'll just leave it at that. I don't know. I don't want to know unless she decides to share it with us because that is her business. But she's the only one that is outside of the Wubble injured that has the possibility of coming back other than NECA, which is day-to-day. NECA will be back at some point.
Yeah. But I think we can leave it there for now.
2-1. I'm very curious to see this Sunday matchup now. I mean, honestly, that's the game I want to see even more than the Storm. I want to see what they do against Vandersloot because I respect Courtney Vandersloot immensely, and I have nothing personally against Courtney Vandersloot. Her character is impeccable. She is a leader on her team, but MVP, not in this league.
We'll see.
And on her conference, sure. She's basically the only one that's ever won anything in the conference other than the one of honor.
We'll see.
We will see. All right, but you can check me out, winsider.com. That's where you can find my LA Sparks articles. You can also find me on Twitter at John W. Davis. Pavi, where can we find you?
As always, man, at Pavi World on Twitter, Pavi World, all one word. Make sure y'all check out Hoops and Brews. Make sure you go like this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all go check out my new project. I just felt like rapping too on paver.com. And talk to you guys later.
All right, y'all. Peace.